We're all expecting Fallout 4 at E3, especially after that trailer, but it would be downright irresponsible of me not to prepare you for the unexpected. So here it is. In case the Elder Scrolls 6 does make an appearance, which is extremely unlikely, here are 5 reasons why it will be amazing. Number 5. An Elder Scrolls for the current gen platforms. The new generation of consoles is lacking an Elder Scrolls or Fallout title, so far. With this newer generation comes more power and more ability for the developers to create an even better experience for the player. With this new power comes a dire need of an upgrade. The creation kit has recently been revealed to have a new upgraded build from what was used for the development of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Even Skyrim was a little behind its time, supporting DirectX 9 while 11 was just coming out. Despite this, it still is relevant, having outlived most games from 2011. Through the community, modding, and just how much content it contained. It's still a vibrant world with loads going on in it, but hopefully Bethesda would make sure the game's more polished upon release. Anyone who doesn't already know the buggy mess that is any Bethesda game upon release clearly hasn't played one. Just look at Skyrim or Oblivion. They're great games and all, but even after numerous patches, sometimes the physics or other features within the game completely screw up. It does add somewhat to the experience of a Bethesda title, but I think we need to move on and experience a beautiful adventure through Tamriel without horses floating across mountains. Number 4. The universe and lore. Skyrim was a beautiful game, but the lore really makes the game series light up. Objectively, the Elder Scrolls universe is one of the largest and most in-depth fantasy worlds out there. And in my opinion, it's also one of the most interesting universes. It's a perfect setting for an open world RPG. There is so much to do, so much to see. I really want to play in it with some current gen graphics. Tamriel is densely packed with religions, races, cities, empires, and wars. You name it, it probably has happened, or is a thing within Tamriel. Seriously, the team over at Bethesda like to go in deep when talking about backstory. They've covered thousands upon thousands of years, with actual written up in-game books talking about these events. There are many provinces we haven't seen in the same detail as Morrowind, Cyrodiil, and Skyrim. Yes, I know Arena and ESO had supposedly covered everything, but I don't count ESO as a main series game, and Arena was procedurally generated. There are so many possibilities for exploring a new part of this universe. Indeed, the possibilities stretch even beyond the familiar lands of Tamriel, which is just of at least 5 continents in the world of Nirn. Places like Akavir are described as having storied histories and cultures as rich as Tamriel itself. If you explore everything you can, read all the books you collect, and talk to travellers you stumble upon, you will lose yourself in this massive, epic world. Number 3. A continuation of Skyrim's story. Let's look at the world in the wake of Skyrim. The Aldmeri Dominion is still going strong, while the Imperial Empire is still hemorrhaging from war. Even if the Empire was still able to keep a hold of Skyrim through the player's actions in the game, the grasp is tenuous at best. In the world following Skyrim, the province that would seem to have the most going on is Hammerfell. Let me explain. As we know from the events of Skyrim, after losing their capital to the Aldmeri Dominion, the Empire was forced to sign the White Gold Concordant. This bought peace for the Empire, at the cost of Talos worship within the Empire, and many of landholdings of Hammerfell. We saw firsthand the fallout from the ban of Talos worship between Skyrim and Cyrodiil, but that didn't end the troubles for the nations of men. Rejecting the White Gold Concordant, the people of Hammerfell left the comfort of the Empire. They rejected the authority of the Aldmeri Dominion and continued to fight for their lands. After an extended conflict, Hammerfell was able to expel the Aldmeri Dominion and force them into an uneasy peace. Hammerfell offers simmering conflicts between factions across the board. The Altmer, with their Bosmer and Khajiit allies, still covet the lands, biding their time. In the absence of a stabilising imperial force, some of the bickering Breton kings may even seek to expand their kingdoms southward. Cyrodiil may have abandoned the Redguards for peace with the Thalmor, but with the shared borders and a hatred for the elves, Skyrim may be a strong potential ally. Hammerfell was an ancestral homeland for the Orcs, before they were kicked out by the Redguards, so the Orcs may be a bit of a wild card, fighting for either side that offers them the claim on some of their old lands. without much of a home to go back to, of course it's not unlikely to see the Dunmer about as well. And let's not forget that Hammerfell was once Vollenfell, the land settled by the self-exiled Dwemer, which means we get more Dwemer runes to explore. Everyone loves them. On to number 2, questing and exploring. So this one links into lore and the world, because it needs those two to survive. But the fact that you can go dungeoning and find some hidden long lost treasures, or even just gander about the world doing your own thing through the wilderness, is outstanding. There are many sandbox games, but nothing quite has the same charm as an Elder Scrolls game. Players are offered the ability to craft their own story and life with a range of different races and customization. Other successful sandbox RPGs, such as The Witcher 3, don't really give the player that degree of freedom. And for those who don't like role-playing a character or exploring without a set purpose, the Elder Scrolls franchise always has some very intriguing quests. The main quests of the Elder Scrolls games may not always live up to expectations, but the faction and side quests tend to be quite memorable in their own rights. And finally, number 1, I think you could guess this from the day dot, it's the modding community. It's such a big one. Modding has become an essential part of the PC gaming experience. This is especially true for Elder Scrolls games. Big modding projects like Falkser, Skyrim, Edinburgh, and many more continue to make an impact years after Skyrim was released. And while Bethesda's implementation for a system of paid mods was poorly planned for Skyrim, there is the possibility that they might learn from their mistakes and ensure great modding content is encouraged for their future games. Sorry for this being a bit of a drag-on video, but that was my top 5 reasons why the Elder Scrolls 6 will be amazing. Let's hope it does come soon and it is going to be a thing. I'm really excited for Fallout 4, but a new Elder Scrolls game would be absolutely epic. My name is Stalli111 and I have loads more awesome RPG content to cover on my channel, so make sure to drop a like, drop a comment and subscribe if you've not done so already, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace off.